Hey, what's up, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer 55551, and I am back with a My 2 cent Switch/gaming video where I take a look at some of the stories that came out this week and give you my thoughts and opinions. And there have been some interesting stories that came out, even though some that are not named on the list, like Call of Duty Black Ops 4, are not having a single-player campaign, which a lot of people are pretty. Well, most people are pretty pissed off about it, and I don't blame them on that one. But why don't we get started with the list, and we'll start off with the first one. And this one kind of caught my attention this week. As some of you are aware, last week there were rumors going around of supposedly a leak from Walmart titling that Rage 2 was going to be announced and all that stuff. And there was some back and forth, and then Bethesda kind of teased it though. Until this week, and apparently they showed off not only the announcement trailer, but also a gameplay trailer of it, and that is official. Rage 2 is coming, for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC sometime next year. According to an article from Kotaku, again, links will be in the description of this video, it basically points out that after weeks of teasing, viral leaking, and marketing planning, today it's finally official. Rage is getting a sequel out in 2019. This one will be developed by Aulx Studios. For those who are not familiar with them, they're the ones that developed Just Cause 3, which was a fun game, and the Mad Max video game, which I would say, out of all the saying that it's one of the better movie license games that I've played out there. The studio responsible for 2015, as I mentioned, open world Mad Max game. The first game developed by id Software and released in 2011 received mediocre reviews. It explains why it also says that in 2012, as we reported, id Software was planning its own version of Rage 2 before Bethesda canceled it and reinforced the studio on the new Doom, which was going through a brutal development cycle. Thanks to some reboots, some of the management change, and a lot of talented people, id Software recovered to release 2016 Doom, highly regarded entries in the series. Like that game, definitely recommend it, regardless if you have a PC, PS4, or Xbox One. And yes, I enjoy the Switch version, even though that ran at 720p 30 frames per second. So why would Bethesda make a new Rage game? For starter, Bethesda marketing boss Pete Hines, if I'm saying the name correctly, has teased it suggests that the first Rage sold well enough to justify a sequel, and as we saw from last year's Prey, which had nothing to do with the first Prey, and which many developers at Arkline didn't actually want to call Prey. Bethesda doesn't like throwing away its old brands, even when they're hopping between studios, genres, and ideas. Another thing that came out though is that it came out that it's probably going to turn some people off on this, depending on how you want to look at it. Is that the game will be as a service, but according to them, they're claiming don't expect loot boxes. So, it's according to an article from VG 24/7. It says Rage 2 will have a live service component, but that doesn't mean it's going to have loot boxes. id Software and Aulx are developing Rage 2 to be a games as a service, something that players can return to regularly. That said, their approach will be different than that of most other games when it comes to live service component. For one thing, Rage 2 will not have loot boxes. id Software boss Tim Witz, if I'm saying the name correctly, confirmed to GameStar, adding that the game will have some fun stuff that makes this possible. He even joked about the approach, saying, "We have this novel approach. You buy the game and then you play it," which also promised more details close to the game's launch. Supposedly, it also points out that the game that id Software was responsible for making the shooter feel like while Aulx is approaching the open world experience. Now, so far what we've seen is based on only an announcement and a 1-minute player's trailer. 1 minute of so far, or at least gameplay of it. And I would have to say, it looks promising based on what has been shown so far. I'm pretty sure we'll probably see more at E3. I like the colorful look to it. It looks kind of interesting. It looks like they're aiming for sort of a Mad Max and sort of a Borderlands-like approach. It will be interesting what kind of approach they do with the open world. Or is it going to be more like what Avalanche did with the open world games like Just Cause 3 and Mad Max? Or are they aiming for something more like a Borderlands-like approach where there's certain RPG elements mixed with shooters, which I've become a big fan of that kind of approach though, so I'm a little curious to see how that works. The game as service part does bother me a bit though. I will admit that's the part that bothers me, because we've seen how developers have pulled that game as a service. We all seen how the whole EA Star Wars Battlefront 2 and all that debacle of a mess that has come out. So I am a little concerned about that part of game as a service. Especially, is there any way I can still enjoy the game offline if for somehow I'm not hooked up online, and will there be a solid single player component? After all, if we remember from last year, Bethesda during the VGA Awards basically came out and did the whole video of Save Player One and talked about how single player games are in their blood. So I'm somewhat concerned about this, but I'm going to give Bethesda the benefit of the doubt, at least for now though, okay? While Bethesda is not perfect, as far as third-party developers and publisher though, they're certainly one of the better ones that have certainly one of the better developers, or at least Western developers, and they do produce some good games. I mean, after all, freaking Skyrim continues to sell very well. I mean, oh my god, that game came out in 2011 and that continues to sell well. So, I have some concerns, I have some questions about it, but overall, I am very interested in Rage 2, though. I did enjoy the first one, even though it wasn't perfect. It was definitely a fun game, and I'm hoping to hear more about it at E3, and hopefully they explain better the whole games as a service thing, because after what happened with Star Wars Battlefront 2, I am very concerned about that part. But overall, it is interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to hearing more about Rage 2 in general. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to be talking about a rumor that Retro Studio could be working on a Star Fox game, but it's possible it may not be the Star Fox game you're thinking of. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our video, of this My 2 Cent video, and for this one we're going to be talking about a rumored Star Fox game that Retro Studio could be working on, but it may not be what many people thought. Now, ever since 2014, Retro Studio has kind of gone dark, though. After they released Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, there have been reports of them hiring people and so on, but no one knows exactly what they've been working on, other than Nintendo and the folks who work at Retro Studio, to be exact, though. But recently, a leak came out by somebody who claimed to have a good idea what they're working on. Now, keep in mind, this is coming from, picked up by many outlets, that was leaked on both Reddit and 4chan, so a grain of salt does need to be taken on this, and for all we know, this could be false, and given 4chan's history of some people, not to mention 4chan's history of, people putting out racist stuff and all that. But anyway, according to, oops, I clicked on the wrong one. Let me get it out. According to Eurogamer, it's pointing out that leaks suggest Nintendo's Retro Studios making a Star Fox racing game. A round of internet leaks have suggested Nintendo's Retro Studio, developer of the Metroid Prime trilogy, is working on a Star Fox spin-off game. The leak appeared online over the weekend on Reddit and 4chan and were then reported this morning on multiple game sites and blogs. So who do you believe? Well, as probable as Retro Studio making a Star Fox game as it sounds, Eurogamer sources have heard similar. Details posted by a Reddit username Dan Vergbin, I apologize if I'm saying the name correctly, who has a patchy record, so there's the grain of salt right there, towards Retro Star Fox project as a racing game like Diddy Kong Racing mixed with F-Zero. It will have an adventure mode of some kind, think Diddy Kong Racing, and there will be boss fights and hubs worlds like it too. It is called Star Fox Grand Prix, P-R-I-X, if I'm saying the name correctly. While I haven't heard the name and don't know if that is accurate or final, other details line up with what I've heard. The Star Fox series is traditionally a space and sometimes land-based vehicle shooters, although it has dabbed in various other genres before. Shortly after the Reddit post went live, a logo from Star Fox Grand Prix separately appeared on 4chan. That's home of reliable video game leaks, debatable in a way. Again, I have not heard the name specifically, but the rest of the details are lined up. That's really what they have so far pointed out, though. But also later this week, a report came out that fresh details of Star Fox Grand Prix suggest it's not like F-Zero or anything like that. According to Nintendo Life, they're saying that video game historian and occasional Nintendo Life contributor Liam Robertson, again, links will be in the description if you want to read it, has spoken up about what he has heard of on the grapevine, giving us some interesting details about this mysterious title. First up, Robertson is keen to stress that the game isn't like F-Zero we've speculated here, but it sounds more inclined to engine racing on the PlayStation, a game from the creators of Wipeout, which saw players racing against one another in fighter jets. Gameplay mixed racing with classic Star Fox moments. Blasting enemies will give you speed boost, as you can shoot other players too. Each Grand Prix constantly of the 3 tracks in boss battle, and when you're not racing, you can walk around a hub area and interact with famous faces from the Star Fox series. Robinson has heard that Retro is even considering introducing characters from outside the franchise, such as Donkey Kong. The hub also offers up new story elements and races. Finally, Robinson said that the name is subject to change and that the game could be released as early this year, although 2019 is also a possibility. Following that report, they also added an update that has said Robertson has since gotten in touch and said this particular comment wasn't accurate. So, personally, in my opinion, though, I'm kind of mixed on this one. I really am. On one hand, it could be a good game. It may not be as terrible as some people have thought it might be. I mean, after all, if we all remember, during the NX, now called the Nintendo Switch, we all heard about this rumor about Mario teaming up with the Ubisoft Rabbits in a Fire Emblem game, and many people thought that was the dumbest, idiotic idea. Of course, that later turned into Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and actually get a positive response, and people actually like that. So, there is a chance this could be a good game. Having said that, though, on the other hand, I also think there's a chance it can also be a bad game. Remember, the Star Fox series hasn't had the same luxury as, say, the Mario series, where there have been a majority of Mario games have been good. The Star Fox series, not as so much. Not bad, but certainly not great. I mean, ever since Star Fox 64, the series has kind of gone, in my opinion, kind of gone downhill. Star Fox Adventure was an okay game, but I think it would have been better if they just stuck with Dinosaur Planet to be exact. Star Fox Assault was alright, but there were certain elements I did not like. The R-Wings I thought controlled just odd, same with the Landmaster, and the on-foot area, an interesting idea, but exactly not perfect. Star Fox Command, again, interesting ideas, but using the stylus to control your R-Wing and all that stuff just felt awkward and uncomfortable. And then, of course, 2016 Star Fox Zero would have been a good game. It had all the makings of being a good game, with Platinum known for their over-the-top action type of the game. But unfortunately, what held it back, at least for me, was the forced motion controls. That game felt like Nintendo had to do something with the Wii U gamepad, and it just ruined that game. At least for me, it did. And I just feel like it comes off as them being desperate to do something with the Star Fox series, and that's the part that worries me. It worries me that it's going to end up like what we saw with Metroid Prime Federation Force, though. Maybe if that was a different game, not using the Metroid name, it would have been better, but because it did not sit well with a lot of people. Nintendo tried to get people interested in it. It didn't work, and also disabling your likes or dislike doesn't help the situation either. And I fear that if this rumor is true, that it's a Star Fox Racer, I fear that that's what it could end up. I also believe that a lot of people could be disappointed on this, though. Again, I'm not saying it's going to flop or anything. I'm not saying I'm completely against the idea, but I just feel like I'm just not really sure about this one. But we'll have to wait and see at E3 this year whether or not we finally see what Retro Studio is working on and whether this is the game they're working on or not. So it will be very interesting. Hopefully they'll show us something at E3. Hopefully we'll finally see what Retro Studio is working on. And who knows? This game could, if this is the game they're working on, it might be good or it might be bad. Although, as a side note, I'm still leaning towards the possibility they could be doing a Donkey Kong game, another Donkey Kong game, considering the fact that between Tropical Freeze coming out and the new DLC for Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which has a scenario where Donkey Kong is a playable character, I still get that feeling though that they're preparing to announce a brand new Donkey Kong game. I could be wrong. I could be literally wrong on this, but I feel like that's the impression I am getting on that one. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to be talking about a possible, although most likely fake in my opinion though, of someone claiming that they have a list of what Nintendo is going to be shown at E3. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with the third part of our My 2 Cent video, and for this one we're going to be taking a look at supposedly a leak of a list of what Nintendo could be showing at E3. Now, as we get closer to E3 and so on, we see these leaks coming out and all that stuff, and while they are interesting to read though, not all of these leaks turn out to be true. So I'm taking, anytime there's a leak or something like that, I take that with a grain of salt. So supposedly someone posted what Nintendo could be showing at E3 this year, and I would say that most likely, and including based on some articles that have come out, links will be in the description if you want to check it out, I will say that it does sound like a lot of these are fake though, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is. That said, some of them are kind of interesting, and I would like to see happen if they ever do. So we'll get started with, from what we've seen so far, posted online though. It basically has someone posting what an E3 showroom introduction. It's basically, this is their digital presentation. For what this person posted, they said that the introduction trailer will be Dragon Ball Fighter Z, which there have been rumors about that in the works for the Switch. FIFA 2019, NBA 2K19, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Octopath Traveler, and Wolfenstein: The New Colossus. It also points out that Super Smash Bros. For Switch trailer, software, demo, and tournament. Not surprised about that one though. I think that's a given right out there. Punch-Out becoming the champion, trailer and software demo being developed by Next Level Games. I would be down with that. If that's true, I certainly would be down with that. I did like the Punch-Out that was released on the Wii back in 2009. Hopefully they'll, if this is true, hopefully they'll introduce some new characters. I mean, the Wii version was fun and everything. You only had one new boxer, and that was the Disco Kid to be exact. So hopefully that will be interesting. Metroid Prime Renegade trailer gameplay footage developed by Bandai Namco. That's been going back and forth. We know Metroid Prime 4 exists. At this point, it does sound like it's Bandai Namco, so I'm going to go with that one, though. Splatoon 2 Octo expansion, we know that exists, though. That's probably true. Trailer, software demo, though. Fire Emblem Memories, trailer gameplay footage by Intelligent Software. We know that Fire Emblem game is in development, though. They announced that last year when they did a Fire Emblem Direct, when they were showing Fire Emblem Echoes, Fire Emblem Warriors, and I think the Fire Emblem Heroes for the mobile device, though. But since then, we haven't really heard anything concrete other than some rumors claiming what the game may be and all that stuff. So I'm hoping they show some stuff about that game, because they did say that they would release it sometime in 2018. We're getting close to June. Hopefully we'll hear something about it, maybe at E3. Fallout 3 Anniversary trailer gameplay footage from Bethesda Software. Okay, I mean, I wouldn't mind playing Fallout 3 on it if they maybe improve and fix some of the gameplay mechanics, but personally, and this is my opinion, I would rather have Fallout 4 on the Nintendo Switch, though. I mean, I know a lot of people say, oh, it can't be done or anything. Look at Doom. Look how they were able to pull that off. I think it does. There is a possibility they could bring Fallout 4 over there. That's been rumored as well, but I'm okay with Fallout 3 Anniversary. Maybe if they mix and change some things up a bit. Yoshi Flippin' Island trailer software demo for a good feel. Again, we know that game does exist. It showed it off last year, though. It'd be interesting if they do call it that, and we'll have to wait and see. This has been rumored for quite some time for those who are Pokemon fans, and that is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, E-E-V-E-E. Apologize if I'm not saying the name correctly. And they show us a trailer by Game Freak's correction. Whether that is the official Pokemon game or not remains to be seen. We'll have to wait and see if they show it off at E3, but I do believe that Nintendo will try to push Pokemon out. They want to keep the momentum of the Switch going. I think that and Smash Brothers are their big guns. I wouldn't be surprised if you see those two be heavily focused on that one. So we'll have to wait and see if that's the official title or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if they show off a Pokemon game for the Switch at E3. F-Zero SX, a teaser trailer being developed by Platinum Games. Would like to see that happen if that's true. Fortnite trailer gameplay footage by Epic Games. That's been rumored for a bit. That's been rumored that a Fortnite game could be coming to the Nintendo Switch. I'm not against it if it comes, but I am a little curious to see how that will work on the Nintendo Switch, to be exact. So, be interesting to see. And finally, last but not least, and this one's kind of interesting as well. Star Fox Lilac System trailer gameplay footage by Retro Studio. That's interesting though, because as I said in the last part, there's been talks about a racing game and all, but there have been other rumors saying no, it's basically open world and everything like that. So a little bit confusing on that one. And then finally, we have what basically they would show at their Treehouse event, which will be what this person's claiming, Super Smash Bros. For Switch, character reveal, random matches showing some characters and mechanics, new amiibos, showcase, so there's that. This one does give me the impression that this is probably a fake list to begin with, and that is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening 3D trailer game reveal, first hour of game. Would be interesting if they brought Link's Awakening basically for the Nintendo Switch, although I'm not buying that one. So Star Fox Lilac System, gameplay of the new flight system, NPC interaction and side missions in Corneria. Again, even though this isn't 100% confirmed, I would say I find this more interesting than the racing one, but again, that's my opinion. Splatoon 2 Aquapack expansion. Wouldn't be surprised if they showed off more of that at the Treehouse. Wouldn't be surprised with that. Metroid Prime Renegade, explore the surface of a planet, fight against a renegade Crozone, if I'm saying the name correctly. Again, I expect we'll see some gameplay of Metroid Prime 4. Don't know if it's going to be called Renegade or not, but we'll have to see about that. But I do believe that will be shown as well. Yoshi Flipping Island, level showcase, co-op mode, amiibo functionality. Oh, alright. Fire Emblem Memories. Gameplay of the second mission of the game, including new characters and game mechanics. Luigi's Mansion, which I believe that was announced for the 3DS. I think it's odd that they don't announce it for the Switch though. Gameplay of the first hour of the game, first quarter of a new boss rush mode, and finally Punch-Out! Becoming the champion. Introducing a new fighting system, showing off a new hub and tournament. I have to say, again, I'm going to come out and say that I believe most likely this list is fake, though. I mean, like I said before, we've been down this road many times. There have been many, sometimes we see these fake lists pop up, to be exactly, and they don't always turn out to be true. That said, that's not to say I wouldn't like to see some of these games come out to be true. I find the Star Fox Lilac system more interesting than the Star Fox Racer one, like I said that. The Punch-Out! One I would like to see happen, though. That would be very interesting if they bring that to the Switch as well. Fire Emblem Memories, again, interesting to be exact. So overall, it's an interesting list though, but like I said, I am leaning towards it being fake though, and that's where I think most people will probably lean towards that. We'll have to wait until E3 to know for certain what Nintendo is going to show off, to be exact. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to be getting to our fourth part, and that has something to do related to the Bloodstained series, though, and an announcement of a certain game It's not Ritual of the Night, but a possible spin-off to it. So, take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with our fourth and final part of this My 2 Cent video, and for this one we're going to be talking about an announcement in the Bloodstained series, which is entitled Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. Now for those who aren't aware of it, this was announced this week by the creator of the upcoming Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and it's being developed by Indie Creates. For those who are not familiar, Indie Creates are the ones that developed the Blaster Master Zero. They also developed the Gungavolt series, which a spin-off has been announced for that game as well. They also developed the unfortunate Mighty No. 9, although a lot of the blame goes on to Keiji Inafune and Concept for how they handled that though. And they also developed Japan's most infamous shooter, or on-rail shooter, Galgun. Yep, this game right here. They are the ones that developed that one too, though. So apparently this week, like I said, they announced that they are the ones developing Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. And apparently, according to several articles, including US Gamer, it points out that based on the game's Bit Summit demo, they completely nailed it, or it's a reassuring sign since Indie Creates dropped out the primary Bloodstained project, Rituals of the Night, a while back. That change in production duties has been surrounded by unhappy rumors that Ritual hasn't properly come together under Indie Creates oversight, though the person says he loves the E3 2016 demo, which has left many observers questioning the studio's future. Curse of the Moon, however, finds Indie Creates in fine form. It perfectly recaptures the essential of Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, and Dracula's X Rodano of Blood, which are generally viewed as the high point of the linear installment of Konami's classic Castlevania franchise. And unlike plans for Ritual, Curse is almost completely as an in-house project from the studio with very little oversight. oversight by Bloodstained producer Koji Inagane, if I'm saying the name correctly though. According to Indie Creates, the president, planning work on Curse began as soon as the company stepped away from Ritual. The first link in the chain started at E3 2016, after we have completed the original alpha ROM for Ritual of the Night, he explained. After that, we shifted from that project to put all our efforts into Curse of the Moon. From that time, we started thinking, what kind of game do we want to make? How are we going to do that? At all that sort of baseline level, after a lot of back and forth with IGA, and hammering out the design, the coding really began in earnest last fall. The fact that full development on Curse only began in 2017 is impressive in light of how solid the game feels, which it should, since it will be launching at the end of the month, May 24th when I understand. 6 months, give or take, isn't much time to put together a game, even a retro-style one. Yet despite the short creation timeline, Curse does a marvelous job of distilling the essential of peak 8-bit Castlevania in a new and technical unrelated game, smoothing over a few of the clumsy elements of those old Konami creations while feeling undeniably of a place in time. Now, before I begin talking about Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, I do want to give a little disclosure right off the bat. I do want to point out that I am a backer of this game, to be exact. I did back this game when it was announced back in 2015, and I do want to stress that any opinion I have about Bloodstained Ritual of the Night and Curse of the Moon are my opinions and my opinions alone. So a little disclaimer I want to give right off the bat though. Having said that though, I will have to say this is kind of interesting that they are bringing this game over, and judging by the trailer that they released and shown so far, I am very interested in this though. I like the 8-bit style that they're going with the game, and the fact that you can like switch between different characters and all does add interesting gameplay mechanics as well. So it is a very interesting looking game. I'm looking forward to trying that out when it comes out. We know that it's been announced for the PC and Steam, PlayStation Vita, PS4, Xbox One, 3DS, and Switch as well. So it is been announced for those games, and according to what Destructoid is saying, if this is correct, it's saying Bloodstained Curse of the Moon will be released on, like I said, Switch, PS4, Xbox One, Steam, 3DS, and Vita on May 24th for $9.99, $10. And like I said in the disclaimer though, if you back the game like I did, log into your Fangamer pledge page now. Backers above a certain threshold will get one download of the game for free on the console of their choosing. So obviously it's going to be out really soon, to be exact, and I'm looking forward to trying this out. It is a little curious to see how the story in this one plays out, because originally when this game was pitched on Kickstarter, it was supposed to be acting like as a prequel, but lately several reports have come out pointing that it's more now a spin-off than a prequel. So I really prefer the prequel, but I'll settle with the spin-off to be exact. So overall, I have to say it looks impressive. I like the 8-bit style, and I'm looking forward to trying this out when it comes out. For me personally, I'm planning to get it for the Switch, but I'm sure there are others that will get it for the other systems that I mentioned, though. Surprised they're still bringing it to the Vita, to be exact, although I don't know if that has changed in terms of Ritual of the Night or not. So overall, very interesting. We're getting a linear, traditional Castlevania-like game with Curse of the Moon, while we look forward to Ritual of the Night, which plays more like a Metroidvania type of a game. Hopefully, and I'm hoping, we'll see Bloodstained Ritual of the Night at E3 this year, and hopefully we get an official launch release date for that game, and hopefully that the wait is worth it though. I do have concerns that Circle of the Moon and Ritual of the Night could end up like a Mighty No. 9 situation, but so far it seems like they haven't gone that far, at least not yet. So, but we'll have to wait and see. But overall, looking forward to trying out Curse of the Moon when it comes out on May 24th. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinions. What are yours? What are your thoughts about the announcement of Rage 2 coming to the PS4, Xbox One, and PC? Are you looking forward to trying that game out? Are you not looking forward at all to trying it out? Did you like the first Rage when that came out back in 2011? Did you not like it at all? What about this rumored about the Star Fox Racer? Do you think it sounds so crazy it could actually be good, like what Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle was? Or do you think this is like a dumb idea and you think it's going to flop big time? Do you think this rumor is true, or do you think it's false to be exact? And what about the so-called leaked about what Nintendo could be showing at E3 this year? Do you think this is accurate, or do you think this leak sends off enough red flags that it's most likely a fake list to begin with? And what about your thoughts on the announcement of Bloodstained Curse of the Moon? Are you looking forward to trying this out? Is this the kind of game that interests you in any way? Did you by any chance back the game in anyhow? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree with what I said? Do you have a difference of opinion or anything? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. I hope you hit that like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to. And feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!